All right, so this week we have a really special one that literally I'm not even gonna lie, brought me to tears twice today listening to it. It's I have a lot of history with it personally, and it is a masterpiece in the Americana genre, which is a word we kind of want to talk about a little bit maybe later in the episode. But our family has met and promoted this person, and I think he deserves a wider audience, although he has had tremendous success. And it's Tim O'Brien, Odd Man In. It's a record. It's on Sugar Hill Records, and yeah, there it is, the man himself. And I was shocked to find out that this record was originally recorded under contract for RCA, but was dropped and then later picked up by Sugar Hill. And I have a lot of memories of this. There's a lot of great songs. Hold to a Dream was a classic song. One Way Street, which was recorded by Newgrass Revival. All the tracks have just amazing pocket and groove. It's amazingly well produced. But tell us about Tim O'Brien from your perspective. When did you first become aware of him, and why is this album so special, and what are your memories of it?
Well, yeah, this record is really special and is a family favorite. When I held up that CD cover, you couldn't see it, but it had Barb exclamation point marked on it. Your mom, my wife. That was one of her. It was one of her. It's got mom's like, this is my CD and don't give it away. So anyway, I think this, like a lot of other things that I enjoy in this general genre of folk bluegrass, so-called Americana, came to me through my association with Newgrass Revival, Sam Bush.
Mm-hmm.
I was obsessed with that band, rightfully so, in the mid-'70s when I discovered them when Fly Through the Country came out, and I began to follow them around. And Tim's songs began to show up in the set list even before I knew who he was or where he was or anything about him. So I kind of knew him from their sets and their music before I really got a chance to see him live. And it is weird that this record, it's not weird, I shouldn't say that. The record industry is full of dumbbutts running some of these labels that wouldn't know a good session or batch of songs when it bid him on the you-know-what. So evidently, and I don't know the details, but yeah, it was recorded for RCA, and then he was dropped. And then Sugar Hill evidently subsequently picked it up and released it. And the whole Sugar Hill story, it's not the hip-hop label. Sugar Hill Records out of North Carolina originally was the brainchild and the love project of a guy named Barry Poss, now deceased and gone any number of years. But he put out a lot of good records for a lot of people that we care about, and that this series seems to run into: Newgrass Revival, Peter Rowan, Tim O'Brien, Jerry Douglas,
Thirsty in the Rain.
Oh my God, on and on and on. And anyway, so Sugar Hill props right there to the spirit of Barry Poss. I hope he's floating around somewhere in certain parts of this series. But
I was going to say, it's, in a way, I was shocked to find out kind of that RCA had kind of started this record or whatever, but when you listen through on it, there are songs that sound like country hits. I mean, Tim is a master songwriter. I mean, they're all catchy earworm songs. Like, he's one of those, not only a songwriter, but like a melody, kind of one of those melody masters too.
Melody, yes.
It's so, like, I mean, it's so universal. It could be an Alison Krauss, like "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" audience. I mean, literally, it could be a more kind of a discerning, kind of a music, aficionado audience. It's maybe a little more judgmental, and he would just tick all the boxes. I mean, the songs are just bulletproof. They really are, and the band is amazing. Jerry Douglas is in rare form. I mean, there's a few solos on there where it's just like,
oh yeah.
I mean, it's almost like a slap in the face, literally.
And, I agree.
Yeah, and then the song, just to tick a few boxes on these songs, like the 6th track, "Like I Used to Do," is, I mean, one of the most beautiful ballads in country / Americana that I've ever heard. I know you have memories around that song. The song "One Way Street" is so cool because it's literally almost like a reggae beat. it's so, again, like it's such a melting pot of genres. I gotta say again, like Tim O'Brien to me is a real Americana pioneer in the sense of when you listen to this record, there's country, there's kind of like bluegrass, there's a lot of mandolins on it, there's drums on it, dobro. It's like it's way, you can't get it into one genre, but all the songs are great. Every tier has a reason why. Has Kenny Vaughn, the like veteran A-list guitar player in town that I've seen many times, met a couple times. Huge admiration for Kenny. Mark Schatz is the bass player. Stuart Duncan, another A-list guy's on here. It's recorded like a diamond. I mean, you listen to it. I put it on my monitors back here earlier, and like I said before, I was literally in tears. Just like, I don't know what it was. It's just, the pocket is amazing. Fell in Love and I Can't Get Up is super catchy. And Tim, to me, another thing is he has such a great emotional range with his songs. Like some of them are really sad and like just like light a candle kind of stuff, you know. But then some of it is so sunshiny and sweet, and some of his later work too after this album, they're just the most like lovable songs. They're just so universal. Anyway, I know we both just love this album, and I wish it was on vinyl. If it's not, I know we keep saying that. We got to start a list and put it somewhere on the website where it's just like, hey, why is the vinyl revival sleeping on these titles? You know, like Garland Jeffries. You know, we said before. I don't know if this is available on LP or not, but it's amazing. You know?
It is, and you touched on something that is so true about Tim O'Brien. He writes a great country song, and there's a lot of these guys that sort of were bluegrassers, singer-songwriters, journeymen. You know, they'll tell you, well, that song Trisha Yearwood did and paid off my house, and that song Garth Brooks put my kid through school with that song, and God bless him, that's so great. And he's had a lot of songs on country radio if you check the research on it. And the other thing about Tim and that you touched on that is so true is his range of emotions. He'll do just a break me down, if you're by yourself you're going to start tearing up kind of song, because you can't help it. That song just reaches in and grabs you, and that, you know, that feeling. And then he writes these funny ones too. It's you know, lonely at the bottom too, you know, that line, odd man in, you know, lonely at the bottom too. And you know, and his songs have such emotional content. That Hold to a Dream, that's just one of those songs that will just move me. I don't like to hear it when I'm in a real sort of vulnerable spot, because it's going to break me down. And I knew it from Newgrass, and I know it from this record. And it's just, I mean, the last couplet is about, you know, kind of a romantic version of, you know, tying it into the woman or to the relationship. But Hold to a Dream, the rest of the song could be for, you know, anybody that's working on trying to figure it out, you know, their painting, their music, their business, their whatever it is, you know. And I found that to be very comforting, trying to run a record store for umpteen damn years against the wind, to quote some Bob Seger. You know, rowing upstream in a stupid industry. You know, Hold to a Dream meant a lot at some low spots, trying to keep a record store open in the modern world.
Yeah,
I love that song, and I thank you, Sam Bush, if you're out there and see this, for turning me on to Tim, and for Tim just being who you are and bringing these songs to us. And the other thing, you said so much that is so true, like you do a lot, but in this particular episode especially rings a bell for me. Jerry Douglas is in rare form. You stole my shtick on that one. When you listen to Jerry playing with Tim O'Brien, there's this thing that goes on, and Jerry has got brilliant solos all over God's earth, in his band, on Tony Rice things. I mean, he plays with Tedeschi Trucks. I mean, he's on Paul Simon, just all these different things he's done, you know, on stage and in the studio. But for some reason, I think there's such a level of comfort and sort of telepathic soul brotherism between him and the music that Tim O'Brien brings to the studio. Man, he just lays it out in a few places on this record, as he does on the next one, which Jerry produced, the Tim O'Brien and the O-Boys. Tim downshifted and went to a trio with Jerry, the producer, and the dobro player being an honorary O-Boy. And man, there's a few places in there where it just is just beaming. Mark Schatz on bass and Scott Nygaard on acoustic guitar.
That's the record that has "Daddy's on the Roof Again" and "Rockin' Butt
Yeah,
and all that. Yeah,
yeah, I can
I love that
identify
record
with
too.
that one.
That would be my second choice for Tim's mini catalog of masterpieces.
Yeah, he did that Bob Dylan reimagining record,
Yeah, he
Red
did a
on
version of
Blonde.
"Senor" that I love. That's
Oh
badass.
God.
Yeah, on something I remember that.
And Tim plays all the stringed instruments too. I mean, if you ever see him live or look at the credits through the various levels of recordings, guitar, fiddle, mandolin,
Yeah,
octave mandolin, bouzouki. I mean, he's just, if it's got strings, he's going to make some music on it and really, really bring it to bear. And his
yeah.
voice, that sort of reedy tenor, is just the thing.
Last thing I'll say about Tim before I pass the baton for this one is just the first thing I did. I mean, it is very much Americana, like you say. There's mandolins, fiddles, accordions. It's like all over the map. But the first thing I did when I popped it on it's one of those records. It took me by surprise. I walked over, flipped on my bass amp right behind me, picked up my P bass. I was just playing along. The grooves are just like, oh my god! All those songs, even the kind of the ballads, just yeah, the pocket, the band is so tight, and it really just takes, like you're saying, stuff about Jerry playing on it. It's like everything just kind of goes up another 10 or 20%. You can just kind of feel there's something really special about this band in this moment. I think those guys were kind of a little bit coming of age.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And quick shout as we wind down here to Mags, his name, John Magny, who is accordion, he's a keyboard player, and he sings harmonies on here. And those of us from a certain place and time knew a band called the Subdudes, and they were just brilliant. They were Colorado and New Orleans or Louisiana hybrid, and they were just brilliant. And Mags was one of the key founding members in that, and he's in on some of this, and that's a really neat thing. And last but not least, I'll say, Tim, if you do see this video, you've ruined me. Every time I see one shoe in a parking lot or hanging off of a wire somewhere, I think about you, that album cover with the one shoe. I took a picture of a real shiny, like, black tie affair prom night shoe sitting in a Miracle Hill parking lot the other day. And if I ever find your phone number, I'm going to text it to you, and just so you know. Anyway, Tim O'Brien's the man. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, we love you, Tim, man. He's a master. Tim O'Brien, odd man in. Thanks for checking out our weekly web series, Deep Stacks, brought to you by Big X Music, a conversation each week with my dad, 40-plus year veteran of the music industry, founder of Horizon Records and concert promoter, where I sit down and we talk together about the music we're listening to. Please subscribe, leave us a comment down below, and join the conversation.